We decided to take a ferry from Playa del Carmen to Cozumel for the day. This was our ferry. Tickets were about 300 pesos, about $17 round trip each.
And it was about a half an hour to 35-minute ride on a boat from Playa del Carmen to Cozumel.
And of course, you could see some cruise ships out there. It was a really nice ride. So here we are, we arrive at the port, and this is pretty much what it looks like to give you an idea. It's not real big, but there's a bunch of vendors that are standing around for day tours and things like that. We decided to rent a taxi to take us around, which ended up costing about 1,900 pesos, which was kind of pricey, about $100 for the four of us. And what do you have to say?
So this is what the island looks like, a lot of it, just driving around, kind of green, houses here and there and stuff. We took a shortcut from the port to the other side of the island because we wanted to try out the beaches there first, but not to worry, we will get back to the port.
And this is probably some of the island that we went through where the houses were that most people don't even see, really.
And now we've arrived at the beach on the other side of the island. Just look at that beautiful water out there.
As you can see, the sand is pretty much like a white sandy beach. It was very nice going through here. And then we stopped. This was the area that we had the taxi driver pull over. We were there for, I would guess, about 2 hours. And he just kind of hung out there waiting for us until 2 hours was over. And then we basically went back to the taxi.
Mm-hmm. But this was a nice little area, I thought. Beachside restaurants and bars and things like that. It was a nice area to check out for sure. Here we are just about getting ready to park. Our friends Jim and Karen elected to stay at this beach. While it was a nice beach, it was a little bit crowded for Paulette and I, and so we decided to take a walk down to a beach that was a little farther down, just as beautiful but less crowded, and that'll be coming up here in a few seconds.
So this is the area that Mark and I chose to get in the water at. I gotta say, the water is like bath water. It's the perfect temperature for just floating around, having a good time.
In this clip, Paulette's getting ready to warn me that there's a miniature tsunami coming in behind me. Not really, but I'm old and like to embellish stuff.
So after both of us were swimming, we took a table here and just kind of enjoyed the sound of the ocean, did a little bit of people watching. As you can see, there's some, security guards on the beach with their guns. The typical Mexico scene. So Cozumel does have a small airport, which I did not realize. So we got back in the car, and here we start driving around, and we're heading back to the port area where we're going to be walking around town, grabbing something to eat. My opinion is that Cozumel is pretty much a tourist trap, and you're going to find high prices to go along with that. Like I said, I thought it was a little pricey for 1,900 pesos, about $100 for about, I don't know, 2.5 hours maybe, driving around and stopping at the beach.
When we were in Cozumel, we were there and there were some cruise ships in there. So it was kind of a hopping place. Most businesses were open, but I'm not sure what it would look like if there weren't any cruise ships in port at the time. Just how many of the places would be open. But when we were there, a lot of the places were open. And it was just kind of a fun sort of beach/beatnik kind of vibe.
I think when most people come in from the cruise ships or from the ferry like we did, I think they pretty much cross the street from the port and just kind of hang out down some of those streets where there's shops and restaurants and bars and things like that. I don't know how many people actually do take a tour around like we did and head to the other side of the island where the beach is.
And now here we are arriving back at the port, and we will also be ready to do the cruise ship/tourist thing here in a minute and go into the town.
Once inside, we decided to have some huge margaritas to cool off. They were $16 each, and it took a while to suck them down for sure.
I finished mine, but the other three were not up for that challenge.
Oh, well, I came in second, and Jim and Karen didn't finish theirs off. There's Mark with his empty glass. Mine was second, and Jim and Karen had a little bit left over, but look how big those glasses are. They're crazy. They sell for $24, I think, each.
Yeah, that was a bit expensive, but it was still fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a souvenir, I mean, here they, $25 each. Okay. But I mean, they're really cool glasses. They're all individually painted. So it's a nice souvenir to take home with you.
Towards the road, chasing you around, wasting my precious energy.
So my final thoughts is if you're in Playa del Carmen, take the ferry over. Spend an afternoon or at least, 4 hours over in Cozumel. Enjoy the scenery, have something to eat, get a drink, walk along the streets. I think it's a fun day trip. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed my day over there too. Enjoyed checking out the beaches on the far side of the island, and I also enjoyed checking out the port area as well. And I will say that the good thing about the ferries is they leave pretty much every hour on the hour. Funny story, the two doors you see in front of us were bathrooms. Paulette used the bathrooms, and then she got trapped behind it and couldn't get out. They got her out, thankfully, before we had to use the jaws of life to open the door.
If you like what we're doing, we hope that you will consider subscribing to our channel, The Two Travelers in Mexico.